And you've got to aim for the stars and hope for the best. And the Australian people certainly deserve better than what they have.
Clive Palmer's back in the political fray, launching a new party, Trumpet of Patriots, or one that he's claimed or reclaimed, and he's trying to emulate the success, of course, of the leader of the free world.
Excuse me, somebody had to do it.
Palmer is spending up big on ads, including this one on the cost of living, featuring Trumpet of Patriots party leader Sue Ellen Wrightson, who's described as the country's next Prime Minister. Anthony Albanese doesn't seem to understand that he's Prime Minister. Too often he behaves like
the sick cat. Just do the sick cat dances. You look cool. Nice footwork. Now instead of looking like a party amateur, you look like
Anthony Albanese.
Is happening in our classrooms. They're putting in kitty litter trays because kids now believe they are cats.
It's like Jabba the Hutt. That's my style. I hope you've noticed that.
Sue Ellen joins me now live in the studio. Good to meet you, Sue Ellen. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Seriously? You're putting yourself up as the next Prime Minister of the country? You've never even been in Parliament.
Absolutely. Look at what we've got now. And the bar isn't very high, I must say.
And that we have an agenda to build on that in our second term.
And you've got to aim for the stars.
My mother dreamt of a better life for me. And I hope that my journey in life inspires Australians to reach for the stars.
The Australian people certainly deserve better than what they have.
So the Trumpet of Patriots are running candidates in every seat in the country then?
Yes, absolutely. That's what we're aiming to do. Obviously, we don't have a lot of time left until the election, until the gun is fired to start the election. But look, we'll have some quality candidates.
You reckon you're going to have 77 winning candidates? I mean, you're having a lend of us, aren't you? Who's going to be if you're going to be Prime Minister, who's going to be your Treasurer?
Certainly not Jim Chalmers.
Who will be your Foreign Minister?
Penny Wong. I could be wrong.
We will have a Foreign Policy Committee, Chris.
And you'll need a Foreign Minister. Who would that person be?
It might be me.
You'll be Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, perhaps Treasury as well?
The thing is, what we shouldn't do is count our chickens before they hatch.
Well, exactly. This is why I think it's a little bit rich for you to be telling the Australian people through a lot of paid advertisements that you're going to be the next Prime Minister.
But I said, oi, I'm the bloody Prime Minister.
They're looking for somebody else, Chris, and I'm more than happy to be that person. And we just need a sufficient number of Australians to support us, and we can make it happen.
And you know what? We're winning because we're the piggy bank.
No, I have no doubt about that.
I've said very clearly that I'm concerned.
And rightly so.
What about if you were Prime Minister and Foreign Minister? What would your policy be on Ukraine?
The weekend has been quite interesting, I might add.
Yes, but what would your policy be?
Well, it's a policy that would be developed with the input of the rest of my team.
We stand with Ukraine. I've had meetings with President Zelensky. Australia has committed some $1.5 billion to help President Zelensky.
God only knows where this money goes. The US Congress has sent $130 billion. The European nations have sent $140 billion. How is this money spent? I don't know about you, but I've seen more footage of World War I than I have seen of this particular war. But we're kept told every time the leprechaun comes from Ukraine, we must shell out more money.
But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing.
The policy on Ukraine is that we need peace. The underlying issue in Ukraine is that President Zelensky is
a dictator without elections.
President Zelensky is running out of soldiers. Hundreds of thousands of young Ukrainian men and Russians, I might add, are dying on the battlefield.
Yeah, we're aware of that. That's why I'm asking what your policy would be.
Well, we have a situation where we haven't had elections in Ukraine. Well, we have martial law, essentially martial law in Ukraine.
Let's go to energy policy in Australia. What's your policy on nuclear energy?
Well, the cost of living is absolutely crushing Australians
Yes,
right
it is.
now.
But what's your policy on nuclear energy?
Get it tomorrow. Lift the ban in the first week of Parliament when I'm the PM.
Hang on, is this an intervention? Katie, do you want me to talk or not? I'm the Prime Minister.
Australians will be proud.
When I'm the PM.
All right, so you're all on board for nuclear energy, getting rid of the ban. Would you support the government funding of nuclear energy, or would you leave it to the private sector?
Leave it to the private sector
So just get rid of the ban.
The government are hopeless at delivering projects. If we left it up to the government, it would take
A long period of time.
far too long and cost 5 times the amount.
We have screwed it up in the past.
So leave it up to the experts.
And what about renewable energy then? You'd get rid of all the subsidies and all support for renewable energy?
Well, look, the capacity investment scheme is not something that is in the interest of Australians. It's in the interest of these proponents of the renewables sector projects. So
How would we power the nation while we waited for nuclear plants to be built?
coal. Let's do what we're doing now. Let's do
going
what
with
we've
coal?
done. Let's do what we've done for decades. That has given us reliable baseload power. It keeps the lights on, and it lets us stand on our own 2 feet.
I feel a sense of responsibility. I think that Australians want a better future.
When I'm the PM.